So today's scent of the day got me thinking, because I have so many alternatives, clones inspired by kind of smells like fragrances when it comes to this, that I hardly ever wear it. Because there's actually alternatives that I enjoy more. It's the main reason I don't wear it. And of course, we're talking about the infamous, the so called king, Creed Aventus. At this stage, is it fool's gold to spend the high price tag on this fragrance when everybody complains about performance not being what it used to be, richness of smell, and so on? This video might trigger some people, but let's discuss it. Stay tuned. So, like I said, I have 3 sprays around the neck, one on each forearm. Actually, like 1.5 on each forearm. So, I've got a decent amount on. I don't have some ridiculous sillage, though I can smell myself pretty well. This is a 19S11 batch. I've had this for quite some time. I won it in a raffle online several years ago. And like I said, I wear it on occasion. You can see the juice level has dropped. But it's so seldom that I wear it. And I have so many alternatives that I enjoy more that A, perform better, in many ways do the scent profile a little bit better, but one thing I can give Creed that they can definitely hang their hat on is none of them seem to have the same quality. They're not on the same scale with the blend and the quality when it comes to the original. So I do have to give it that. And I'm not knocking anyone that loves this fragrance. By any means am I doing that. Because you have Creed Aventus and you enjoy it, wear it. Like I said, it's my scent of the day today. And it's what sparked this video idea in the first place, because I almost went with one of the alternatives. I almost wore this for July 4th, ended up picking something over it, Intense Citra. I don't know, it's just something about it where it's delightful, beautiful, fresh bergamot, pineapple, juicy fruit smell at the top. Starts to settle into that smoky birch, a little musky. With this batch, I do get a little bit of rose, a touch of vanilla, not a very sweet batch of Creed Aventus by any means. And it does get very musky in the dry down. It kind of has a pretty good balance where it's not too fruity, it's not too sweet, it's not too smoky. It's not one of those heavier in one aspect type of batches. It is pretty well balanced. I get about 6 to 7 hours of longevity on my skin, which is terrible for some people because older batches, for years and years and years, they were certified beasts. They were 10, 12 plus hour fragrances with 2 to 3 sprays being all that's needed because you have this massive sillage and they project heavy for 2, 3, 4 hours depending on your skin and which batch. So the whole batch variation thing is a real thing when it comes to Creed Aventus, when it comes to Creed fragrances in general. And this admittedly is a pretty good batch, though it's when the downward spiral started to go as far as people complaining about performance. Because look, I had tried a different, a 16 L01, I want to say, batch, and it was much smokier and a monster in performance on my skin. I have sampled that before, so I can firsthand tell you there is a difference in what it used to be versus what it is now. And like I said, they can hang their hat on the quality and the way the blend is done for sure. But personally, if I was looking to get Creed Aventus, I probably wouldn't buy it because even from discounters, you're looking at mid $200 price point USD on up to the $300 price point easily at discounters. Retail is obviously far higher than that, and you can get a collection of clones and alternatives to Creed Aventus for the price of one Creed Aventus 100 ml bottle. And I want to cover 4 of the most popular alternatives. Some are direct clones and some are more of alternatives that cover every price point. We're talking from a beloved niche house that you can get right above $100 for a 50 ml, all the way down to a mid 20 some odd dollar clone that's probably the most popular one. So let's go into we're going to start at the top and work our way down in price point and quality. Starting with one that is definitely not a direct clone. It does have similar vibes in the fruitiness in the top, but as they dry, they go their separate ways. This is not smoky by any means. This is more of a true Chypre where you get a lot of oak moss, where I hardly get any oak moss in Creed Aventus. When it comes to Nishane Hacivat, It's an oak moss bomb. This is a better fragrance. I would take this 10 out of 10 times over Creed Aventus. Sorry for those of you that it upsets when I say that. This is so much better. Bergamot, apple, pineapple smell. Very crisp and fruity, clean, super high quality. This is a monster in performance. This, I know some people will ask about batch code when I say that, so there you go for those that want to look it up. This 50 ml was $105 from Kingdom Fragrances. A fraction, large fraction, but not a tiny little fraction like some of these, but a fraction of the cost for A, a better performer, B, a more well put together and classy scent, and C, it's so much more affordable. It really is. Yes, $105 is still $105. That's still triple digits. That's still very expensive for a lot of people. But like I said, we were going to start at the top and work our way down, because I do have something for those of you that don't want to spend more than $30 or $40, but still want to get something along that scent profile, because the Creed Aventus scent profile is one of the greatest DNAs and scent profiles ever created. There's no denying it. That's why I have so many things that smell like it. And when it comes to niche fragrances, luxury fragrances, this one is not a clone. I don't even think it's really inspired by Creed Aventus. But like I said, the opening, there's a touch of similarity, but as they dry, they go their separate ways. This is all about, yes, it's beautiful fresh fruits and citruses at the top, but it settles into a nice woody and heavy green oak moss chypre vibe that's well put together. This dresses up so well. And like I said before, it's damn near nuclear on my skin. I don't need more than 4 sprays. This stuff is super duper strong. I don't go anosmic to this one either. It's one that I smell the whole time that's on my skin. The sillage in it is beautiful. It's magical. This will draw some positive attention. And like I said, it's a little bit more refined. It's a little bit more put together. It doesn't have that dark essence of the smokiness that you get from Creed Aventus. This is a much cleaner fragrance, though still a little earthy green because of the chypre effect of the oak moss. It's still a cleaner fragrance overall, but when it comes to niche, this is a better fragrance. Nishane Hacivat. Next is a Middle Eastern take on the style. So this is super popular. This has gained a ton of popularity in the last 6 to 9 months, however long it's been out. I know it's been like less than a year, I think. And I have to admit, I think it's incredible. It is a black currant bomb, bitter tart fruitiness. It's leathery from the saffron. It's got this beautiful leathery smell to it. And the oak moss here can be mistaken for being a little smoky. I don't really find it's a little smoky, more earthy. We're talking about from Afnan. This is Supremacy Not Only Intense. Yes, Supremacy Silver is more of a clone of Creed Aventus. It's pretty spot on. And it's very affordable. You can get it in the sub $30 price point. This is double that. I spent around $60 for this. You can get it. Kingdom Fragrance had it for $45. I don't know if they still have it in stock, but it's a bargain because it's a monster. This is an extrait de parfum. You don't need but a few sprays. This stuff will stick to your skin for as long as you leave it on your skin, however long it takes for you to take a shower in your day. If you spray this on clothes, it's probably never leaving the clothes. Very high oil concentration, very dense, dark fragrance. Some people say they get Hacivat out of it, Hacivat. Some people say they get Aventus out of it. Some people say it starts off one and dries to the other. I say, yes, you're going to get kind of the vibe of both because there's so much oak moss, you're going to get a little Hacivat type of feel. And because of the black currant and the apple, you're going to get kind of that little bit of an Aventus vibe. I would say, as far as similarity to Aventus, maybe 70%. This kind of stands on its own, honestly. Yes, it borrows elements from both of them, but it kind of becomes its own fragrance. This is such a good fragrance. The quality is on point. As far as Middle Eastern inspired by or clone fragrances of Creed Aventus, this is the top tier without smelling exactly like a clone of Creed Aventus. If you haven't gotten your nose on this one, I think you're missing out. But if you don't like black currant, it's a bomb of it. You'll hate the fragrance. But if you like that aspect in fragrances, if you like that aspect of Creed Aventus, which it's always been my favorite part, is that tart fruitiness. It's a lot of it here. It has a bit of a dark inky feel to it. It's beautiful, beautiful. And like I said, monster. Couple of sprays, good for as long as you want it to be on your skin. And like I said, the quality. I'm still very impressed by the quality that Afnan, of oils that Afnan use. This stuff is really, really good. I, again, would take this over Creed Aventus is Afnan Supremacy Not Only Intense. Next is an affordable designer fragrance that is mega popular. While it's more of a standalone, there's a little bit of this leathery feel, ambroxan. There's, I think, like an Akigala wood note, one of those fantasy notes that has been created in a lab. A lot of bergamot up top. It gives you a similar feel and a similar vibe. It is unmistakably Mont Blanc's take on Creed Aventus. We are talking about Mont Blanc Explorer. This has gotten a ton of hype over the last couple of years, and for good reason. It's a very good fragrance. It is. If you're looking to spend as little as you can and get a fragrance that is not one-to-one, kind of does its own thing, still pulls in some compliments. Trust me, it does. My wife loves when I wear this one. She wishes I would wear it more, though admittedly not my favorite take on Aventus. It did have to grow on me. I do think it's a very good fragrance, but I don't treat it like the super mega hype beast that a lot of people have treated it as. But there's no denying it's a very good fragrance, and it's very affordable. The 60 ml, I paid like $30 for it. You can find it a lot of places in the sub $45 price point for a 100 milliliter bottle. It's a very, very good fragrance that performs about average for me. I've had people tell me they get crazy good performance, 10 hours on their skin, projects great for 2 to 3 hours. I get kind of average projection and, moderate sillage, moderate to mild sillage, and average performance 5, 6, maybe 7 hours if I'm lucky, but usually about 5 to 6 hours. And I think it does very well for what it is. Admittedly, not the best out there in my personal opinion, but there's a lot of hype behind this one because it is a very good fragrance at the very least. You're looking for an affordable designer take that kind of has vibes of it, similarities, but is more of a standalone. Check out Mont Blanc Explorer. Now, admittedly, the limited edition Parfum is my favorite rendition that I've tried from this line, but this is probably, for price point and performance, the most popular of the Creed Aventus clones. This is another Middle Eastern brand. This is from Armaf. We're talking about Club de Nuit Intense Man. This is the Eau de Toilette. So this one has that harsh lemon open. But you can find this one for like $26. And it's a strong performer. It's very smoky. A lot of lemon. You're going to get all the fruits, the apple, bergamot, pineapple. You're going to get all of that stuff. Get a little bit of black currant. The difference with this one is you have that strong lemon top note. And here it's a little on the chemically synthetic, harsh, like lemon cleaner, lemon pledge type of smell as it's been compared to. Never bothered me. Doesn't bother me right now when I smell it. I've always liked this fragrance. And it's every bit of a 10 to 12 hour fragrance on my skin. Admittedly, I do like the smoothness and the richness of the limited edition Parfum more. But as far as recommendation, for the money, it's very, very hard to beat. I would put this and Afnan Supremacy Silver kind of right in the same category because you can get this in both of them in the mid to low 20s depending on where you find them. While the Afnan is a little bit more of a spot-on clone with a little bit better quality, this is a monster in performance. If you're willing to sit through that opening, because it's a little too harsh for some, I get that. But compliment machine, I've gotten many, many compliments wearing this fragrance, as has a lot of people I know that wear this one from time to time. There's some people that wear this religiously because it's just such a great experience in their daily life, wearing it for themselves and for those around them. It's very hard to beat. Admittedly, there's a bunch of concentrations of at this point. There's an Eau de Parfum. There was the limited edition Eau de Parfum. Then it turned into the limited edition Parfum. They just relabeled it. It's the same fragrance. And they have the Pure Perfume edition, which I haven't tried yet. But for the money, it's really hard to beat. You can't go wrong here. Like I said, as long as you can sit through that kind of chemical cleaner type of opening that, like I said, doesn't bother me. But I've had a ton of people say they got to get through it because the dry down's gorgeous. I've called this smoky magic many times in the past because it is that. If you like smoky, the smoky side of Aventus, you'll like this, and you're going to spend $30 or less. No matter where you find it, the highest you'll pay is probably $35, but you can find this in the 20s easily from a ton of places. A great clone, probably the most popular one when it comes to Creed Aventus. Club de Nuit Intense Man, the Eau de Toilette. So that's some alternatives to this beautiful beast that I've discussed on the channel before, but it's one of those things where I'm at the point where I would be okay if I didn't have this bottle. I enjoy it. I love how it smells. I really do. It's on the top of my forearm right here. It's a beautiful fragrance, but for what it costs, I don't really think it's worth it with all the options that are out there. We're talking small clone houses. We're talking about designers. We're talking about other niche houses. If it was easy to find, bondnumber9.com, I would have put it in here because it's my favorite fruity take on a Ventus that's a great performer. Love bondnumber9.com. It's just not that readily available and easy to find. I wanted to put stuff that's, easy to get for a good price for what they are as far as recommendations for you guys because honestly, I prefer all four of these. Maybe not Explorer and Creed Aventus Intense Man. I do prefer the limited edition Parfum, but I could see why more people are gravitating still to the EDT because you're going to spend $60 to $70 on a limited edition Parfum, and you can spend under $30 and get the EDT, and it's actually a little bit louder of a fragrance. You just got to get through that opening, like I said. So, fool's gold at this point? I think so. Again, if you enjoy it, hey, enjoy it. I'm not sitting here telling you not to enjoy your fragrance that you spent your money on, but I am saying moving forward, you could do a lot better for a lot less money. And like prime example, try this, guys. Afnan Supremacy, not only intense, it's amazing. And until next time, do me a real quick favor, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, because I do appreciate all the feedback, and I love hearing from you guys. How many of you agree with me? It's fool's gold at this point. It's not worth it because at this stage, at this price point, it's an investment. Now, you have the money to spend and you don't care. You're not looking to get anything. You don't support clones. You're not interested in other people's takes on it. You want the original. Hey, do you? You know what I mean? Rock it. I'm not saying not to. I'm not going to say anything negative about how this smells because it does smell so good that everybody wants to make their version of it. So, impersonation, I guess it's one of the most sincere forms of flattery, as they say, and this is the most impersonated, cloned, and copied of men's fragrances on the market because it's one of the best original scent profiles ever made. So kudos to you on that, Creed. But at this stage, I think it's fool's gold. And until next time, I will say, if you get your hands on any of the alternatives, you give them a spray now, pretty confident you'll thank me later. Have a good one, guys.